Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another video. And in today's video we are going to be looking at the early front runners for the next Huddersfield Town manager. Who is going to be the manager? There is some early odds that I'm going to go through. We're going to kind of go through a couple of them, not all of them, and then I'm going to kind of pick who I'm kind of more veering towards at the moment. But yes, before we do get into the video, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as well. Who would you like to see as manager? I know a lot of this can change with the odds at the moment, you know, when the season's officially done, which we wish it was over with now. I think we'll start to see maybe a few newer names come into the picture a little bit, but yes, we're going to kind of look at that now. So, look, I mean, the favourite at the moment is Des Buckingham, who, of course, will probably consider himself unlucky to have lost his job at Oxford United earlier this season. He did a fantastic job in leading them to the promotion from League One in 23-24, and then had them in a really decent position when the club pulled the trigger on him in December. Obviously, since then, Buckingham has been linked with a few coaching roles in the EFL, and yeah, at the moment, currently looking at 7-4 favourite to be the next manager at the moment. But like I say, it can soon change. We know this, guys. We've seen it before. Now, the the second favourite, he is at 2-1, is Rob Edwards, of course. It's been a very whirlwind couple of years for him, hasn't it? Obviously, he guided Luton to the Premier League, oversaw their relegation, and lost his job after a disappointing first half of the season. So yes, while things did end in disappointment at Luton, it shouldn't be forgotten that Edwards has a promotion from the Championship on his CV and will feel he has plenty to offer. The question with this is whether he's willing to drop down to League One. That is a bit of an unknown at the moment. But we could maybe provide that platform for Edward to show what he can do. So yes, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Sorry, I just had a fly across me then, blew my neck. So yes, Rob Edwards is another name that's been in the hat for the job. And then we're going to look at the next one on the list, which was third favourite, and that's Matt Sadler. Now, Matt Sadler is currently at Walsall. Now, Walsall's form has really gone downhill, hasn't it, in the second half of the season, but Sadler is still regarded as one of the most promising young managers in the EFL. Obviously, 39 years of age. He did guide Walsall to the top of the league at the turn of the year in League Two, but a dramatic slump means his team now finds himself outside of the automatic promotion spots. Now, obviously, Sadler did sign a new contract with them at the Bescott Stadium until 2028 until 2028 back in January, but that was before the wheels kind of fell off this side season. Now, if Walsall were to miss out on promotion, then Sadler might be on the move again, and he, like I say, he is currently third favourite at 3-1 to be our next manager. Now, I'm probably going to do the top four, and then we're going to do an outsider as well. Luke Williams is the next on the list. Now, Williams has managed to keep Swansea in the Championship last season, but a lack of progress this term led to his dismissal in January. Williams obviously will be hoping his efforts have been enough to land another role in the second tier of English football, and clubs would do well to remember the impressive job he did at Notts County, if you remember, before making the switch to South Wales. So yes, a bit of questions. Will he drop down to League One? Remains to be seen, but yeah, he would be hoping that he could potentially get another job in the second tier, but that remains to be. So he's another on the list that could potentially come in. Now the next name at the moment, the next name, and finally I'm gonna go into is Wayne Rooney. Yes, Wayne Rooney was relieved of his managerial duties at Plymouth Argyle at the end of last year. Although he claimed to be waiting on the right club after difficult spells in Devon and with Birmingham City, his hunger to get back into the game is evident. Obviously, there's no obvious links between us and Rooney, but he does find himself at 9-2 odds on to be the next manager. Look, I mean, I'm gonna kind of share my thoughts on these kind of managers that I've mentioned in a moment. But guys, by the way, but yes, and then of course a very familiar name around these parts. We'll never forget him, of course, Mr. David Wagner, who of course led us to the promised land, is on the list as well, guys, at 6-1. And now, obviously, we know what an incredible job he did. You know, the togetherness that he brought as well with him, with his coaching staff as well. Everything was aligned, wasn't it? And, you know, he got everybody on board, that team spirit, togetherness. And also, that winning mentality was always there, wasn't it? You know, no matter what, we always tried to win. And yes, look, we'll always remember him around these ways, and yes, he's on the list. Now, one more name that I do want to get into is one of the outsiders, which is Sean Maloney, who is currently at Wigan. Now, to be fair to him, he's done an alright job at Wigan, hasn't he? But yes, you know, he's another name on the list, guys. I don't really know what else to say about him, but I don't know. I'm going to get into my thoughts on some of these managers, by the way. I should really have done that after each one, but anyway, we'll roll with it, guys. But look, I think there is obviously a few candidates that potentially could come in and do a good job for us. Now, we'll start with the David Wagner link at the moment, to start with, actually. Now, I'm in a bit two minds about whether I want David Wagner back. Now, it's not because, of course, if he came, and obviously, you know, I wouldn't exactly be angry with it, but let me explain. Like, he did an incredible job last time around, didn't he? And, you know, we'll never forget him for what he did. You know, we never thought we'd get to the Premier League, and he was the man that led us there. But I don't want him to come back and then it not work out, if you get me, because then it'll just kind of be a bit of it'll end on a real sour note, and I think that'd be a real shame. What I do like about him, like I said earlier, he does bring that togetherness. His way of playing is clear. And yes, I just think the way he the way the players that he brought in as well fitted the bill at the club. And yeah, I think it was all aligned, wasn't it? And it was all amazing. But does that happen does that happen in two separate different occasions, guys? Was that just a one-off, that kind of miracle, the impossible dream becoming reality? Was that just a one-off? Because obviously Wagner hasn't really done much since he's left us either, and not much success elsewhere at the other clubs that he's been at either. I'm not trying to suggest that he's a one-hit wonder here, but because he did do well before he came to us as well, so he's not, nowhere near that. But yeah, so I'm a bit two minds about him really at the moment. I probably would edge towards probably in the middle, I would say, to be honest with you. I'm 50-50, I would say. I'm 50-50 with it. Because look, I'd love him back. I think we'd all love him back, wouldn't we? But I just think, on one hand, I just don't want it to end sour if it doesn't work well this time. Now, obviously, the favourite at the moment is Des Buckingham. Now, look, Buckingham did do well, didn't he, to get Oxford to the Championship. You can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? He's a very, I think he's a good manager. I think, and like I say, the fact that Oxford sacked him when they did was, I think, surprised everybody really. So he's very unlucky to be out of a job. But the fact that he got them to the Championship, you know, a place where they haven't been for a good while, if at all. I'm not sure if they've been in the second tier. They might have been before, but they haven't been in it for a while. So he's took a club that were on such a limited budget, you know, up to the Championship, and and did well when they were in the Championship as well. So I think he wouldn't be a bad choice, would it? I actually do kind of fancy him a little bit, really. I think I would like him. Not because he's favourite, but I can see the qualities that he could bring to the table, and also that real togetherness. Again, another manager that likes his togetherness and his clear way of playing as well. So he would probably be my first choice, to be honest with you guys, at this current list. Look, we'll do a kind of a video later on when we do really start to see some proper names, you know what I mean, in the hat. You know, well, not proper names, but you know what I mean. You'll become more clear who we're looking at really when as we go along. You know, once the season's officially done, even though it's done now. So, few other names. Look, for me, definitely not Wayne Rooney. I'm sorry, but he was an amazing manager. Not an amazing manager, amazing player. But he's a terrible manager, guys. He's proven he's a terrible manager. How many clubs has he took backwards? And I don't know how he keeps getting in the in with a chance of another job in another management position, because he's dreadful. He's regressed the likes of Plymouth, and he sent Birmingham on their way to relegation to League One last season. So look, he just doesn't seem to have it, to be honest with you. And yeah, I think it would be a massive gamble. And to be honest with you, it'll only end one way if we do bring him in. So for me, not Wayne Rooney for me. Obviously, the likes of Rob Edwards, he did do well at Luton, obviously getting to the Premier League with them. But again, it's more about if he wants to drop down to the third tier. And I mean, I'm not really sure he's that much of a likeable character either, if I'm being honest. You know, he's a bit hot and cold, isn't he? You know, I think some Luton fans didn't particularly take to him that well, towards the end especially. You know, the things he was coming out with and things, you know what I mean? And I don't really think I would probably go there, to be honest with you, with him. And the next name, Matt Sadler. Look, he's done well at Walsall, but I just look at how it's panned out. Look, he started the season. You know, they started the season very well, didn't they? Obviously, you know, but it's just the second half of the season it's just gone downhill, and you could point towards the sale. You know, not the sale, but the obviously Nathan Lowe having to, you know, was sent back to Stoke because they requested to recall him, and that has gone downhill since then. But I just think, from having that, you can't just put it on one player. Yes, he was a good big player for them, but I just think the tactics, you know what I mean, the way he sets up his team, I don't really think it would be really the right appointment for us, to be honest with you. I'm just not convinced. Like I say, he's in a division lower at this stage as well, I remember. So no, I don't think I would go there with him. And then obviously I did mention Sean Maloney, who, like I said, has done alright at Wigan, but I don't really think we want a manager that has just kind of done okay. We want a manager that's actually gone places, and as much as he's kind of kept Wigan afloat, he hasn't really progressed them. And yes, you know what I mean. probably the budget isn't great there, and you know what I mean. But still, if you look at the likes of Buckingham at Oxford, he did get he didn't have much money either when they were in League One, and you know what I mean. He managed to get them promoted. So yeah, for me, not Sean Maloney. So like I said, that leaves us with two names at the moment, guys, and that is, I think Des Buckingham would be a choice that I would certainly be interested in, and David Wagner as well. Like I said, 50-50 with him. I'd love him back, but it's just I don't want it to turn south. So it's a big risk. But when the club is so divided right now, I think that bringing somebody like him in would really bring the togetherness back, and especially if the sporting director is another good appointment as well, it will just start to fix those bridges. You know what I mean? Where the fan base is just completely, we're just broken. This club is broken, and we just need to keep piecing those pieces together effectively to kind of slowly but surely fix the things that have happened over the last 2 years. So yeah, that's my take on it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments who you would like as the next manager. And also, just as I said that, remember Tony Mowbray is a name that could be thrown into the hat now, because obviously he is leaving West Brom. So yes, he's another name full of experience in the EFL, and yeah, maybe not the most exciting name, the exciting brand of football, but he's a good manager. So another manager that could be thrown into the hat, and maybe potentially one that we could look into. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Drop a like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends and family. It would be much appreciated. We will be back very soon for another video and potentially a live show in the next coming days. But stay tuned for that. Make sure you click the notification bell down below, and it will update you when I go live. And also, guys, just a bit of a plug right now. I'm going to be looking to get some Town fans to join me next season as a guest along the way. I know a lot of my viewers like to come up in the chat and share their thoughts that way, but if you know anybody that might be interested, or if you are interested yourself, that you like to put in comments, but you also like to come on as well, drop me a message on my socials, HGFTV8 on Instagram and X. So go and give me a follow on those, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But it'd be nice to get a few people, Town fans, on the channel next year, and we can kind of have a bit more of a discussion-based stream from time to time as well, rather than just hearing me waffling on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. And like I said, I will see you all very, very soon on the next one. And as always, no matter how bad it is at this football club right now, up the Town. Take care, everybody, and thanks very much for watching.